In this video, we are going to crown which team are going to win the Premier League title this season. We've gone up a little bit in my I think it's better.
That's going to do well for my social.
But
Spurs fans are going to love that.
You've bought 20 players this summer. Arsenal.
Name me the wingers you bought.
Madueke
More?
and Madueke.
Do you usually get things right?
I think when you look at the reigning prediction YouTube champions, I think I have won the league a number of times. So yes, Flav, I do get things correct.
what's happening, everyone, and welcome to WHFC, a brand new channel brought to you by William Hill and powered by Final One Standing, football's ultimate free-to-play eliminator game. There's £500,000 up for grabs and the deadline to enter is Saturday. So scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description for your chance to win. On this episode, we're going to play a game of Final One Standing to work out who is going to win the Premier League title. And helping me do it is none other than Statman Dave, Flav Bateman and the wonderful Turkish. Right, gents, this is how it's going to work. We're going to put 6 Premier League teams up against each other over the course of 5 rounds. And the team that makes it all the way to the end will be crowned this episode's Final One Standing and the Premier League champions-elect. Ready? Let's go. Right, first up, it's Manchester United versus Tottenham. Who is going to have a better season? Let's start with you, Dave. Since that night in Bilbao, the greatest night you've had for 40 years, possibly the worst night you've had for 40 years. Right?
Yeah, there's been worse.
It's up there.
Finishing 15th in the Premier League, there's consistent bad nights last season, Rory, to be quite honest.
None as bad as that, though.
Right, but those two things, like, you know, it's a great opportunity for us to kind of use that as a starting block. Since that day, is it fair to say that Manchester United have moved in a better direction? Like the furtherance of Manchester United has been stronger than Tottenham.
Yeah, I think they've had a better window thus far. I don't think these are necessary players that Man United historically would have even gone for, but they're in such a state that they do improve.
At the same time, you've bought players within the league. That's what they used to do under Ferguson. They buy the best player. Carrick, Van Persie, the list goes on and on in terms of those names. You've bought a very, very good player in Matheus Cunha. I think Matheus Cunha is massively underrated. I'd put him in the same bracket as a Gianfranco Zola or a Cantona in a sense of how he can pick the team up. That's what's going to happen this season. I don't think Spurs have got that. You've got an inconsistent Kudos. Heung-min Son's gone. You've got no attackers. Centre forwards injured at the start of the season.
New manager, happy?
But their manager is well equipped for this league.
Yeah,
that's the difference. Whereas Amorim, we're talking about Amorim's football, and we're yet to see what that looks like in this country.
But he beat Man City in the Champions League.
Yeah, 100%.
He played really well against Arsenal.
Probably beat Man City at the Etihad. It doesn't really mean anything, does it? But
it means something. It's the Champions League. You can't just discount it. Oh, he didn't do anything. He won the league in Sporting Lisbon for the first time in 20 years. Oh, that doesn't mean anything.
Big fan overall of Amorim.
Amorim, if they back Amorim the right way, they'll play some of the best football in the league, and that's the opportunity this season. I think another reason why United are finishing above Spurs, 1 game a week. That's never happened in my entire lifetime. That shows the success of Manchester United.
And the failing in recent years.
Yeah, well, it's a mix, right?
You're right. No, Dave, you're 100% right about the 1 game a week. 100%. Like that gives you a massive advantage. And Spurs haven't yet built the squad to deal with Champions League football and Premier League football. We might not be in the Champions League very long. Who knows? But depending on what business happens between now and the end of the window, will determine who finishes.
That's a big point. Do you think there's anything they can do that would worry you?
No. Because if Spurs are active and Man United are also active, Belieber would basically sort Man United's midfield out. They bought a Donnarumma in goal. That is the 2 massive problems United have got right now, which is a reason why they'll never be top 4 probably this season. Probably just under top 4. But at the same time, if Spurs buy some attackers, if United have bought Carlos Belieber, one of the best young central midfielders in the Premier League, and a world-class goalkeeper, don't forget Donnarumma was literally the best keeper in Europe last season. It was unbelievable against Liverpool, against Villa, against Arsenal. It was world-class.
Is he signed for Man United?
He's available because his contract's expiring.
Yeah,
so there's a player on the table. Yeah. But then we could talk about any players that Spurs buy in the same idea, right?
Yeah, well, no, if you signed Donnarumma and Belieber, then I'll go, probably would finish above us. But you haven't signed him.
Overall,
Donnarumma's the best goalkeeper in the world.
Yeah.
If we get to cards on the table time. Are you of the opinion that Tottenham are going to have a better season than Manchester United again?
Yeah, I think we'll finish above them, and I think it's because on paper they're very good. They have a good, first 11, a decent squad, but we have Thomas Frank and they have Amorim, and that is the difference. Amorim is an unknown. Thomas Frank isn't in our league, so I just think he'll just get more out of our players than Amorim is able to. I think Amorim probably will be, if not the first, high up the ladder in terms of first managers gone. I just don't think he's cut.
Pressure's on.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's not funny,
on,
Dave.
man.
I just think
He's taking a mickey. He's done nothing in his career. He don't know how to play football.
You're the only
You've got
one.
to remember, the front three had was Alejandro Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, and then whoever was the third member of that. That massively... They couldn't score any goals. They underperformed their XG, the second most in the Premier League. We couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. That's not going to happen with the players that they've got.
You sound like you really believe what you're saying, which I applaud.
Fully locked in.
I just think we know how important managers are, and I think Thomas Frank is a bit of a sure bet, whereas Amorim isn't.
Is Flav's point there? Do you concede, up until this point at least, Thomas Frank's a better manager than Ruben Amorim?
Thomas Frank is really, really good at dealing with clubs that don't have much money. That's the frankness of it. He's unbelievable. Brentford's wage spend in the Premier League was like 20th, 19th, 19th, 17th. Considering he had a top 10 finish, finished 10th and finished 9th, and then a bit of a mixy season in between, that's really, really good. But does the squad work at the moment? He's gone from having players like Tony up front to Solanke, different players. I'm not saying that it might not work. That might work. But you're going from Brian and Mbeumo and Visser, two of the best forwards in the league last season.
Down to Frank's and Cochrane's tutelage.
Yeah, which is a fair point. But then that took time. And that's we're talking this season.
Yeah, I mean,
Mohamed Kudus was directly involved in 14 goals his first season, 8 the second. He dropped off massively. That inconsistency is really difficult to fix.
So did West Ham.
But it's looking at a player in a sense of like, can these players return what Heung-min Son and Kane were returning for Spurs for them to finish above United?
Right, we're going to have a vote.
Yeah.
Turkish, we'll start with you. Who's going to have a better season, Manchester United or Tottenham?
Better season, we're talking higher league finish.
Higher league finish.
Pippin Man United.
I think it's Manchester United as well. Dave is obviously going to make that a hat-trick.
Yep.
Flav?
I don't care what you think.
I don't respect your opinion
I don't respect any of your opinions.
Okay. So Manchester United have gone through to the next round. Waiting for them in the next round is none other than Arsenal. So it's Manchester United versus Arsenal here.
Can we not have an easy one like a Burnley or someone like that, Sunderland?
It
Through
is
the easy one already.
overall. Let's start with Arsenal. Turkish. How optimistic are you for the new season?
Not as optimistic as I should be. If we're talking generally, if we're talking Man United, very optimistic.
Yeah.
If we're talking a higher league finish over United, I'm pretty confident that's going to happen. Even in a bad season for us, I'd expect to finish above them. Like last season, I don't think last season was a good season for Arsenal. Still finished second, reason being because we've challenged a couple times. So the expectation is very different. I expect them to improve, but we are far gone.
You confident you beat them opening weekend?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
That would be a statement in itself, wouldn't it?
We need to start the season, hitting the ground running. It's a difficult fixture, but we've got a couple more difficult fixtures just off the back of that. Newcastle away, Liverpool away, City at the Emirates. Our first 6 fixtures are, it's season defining, you could say, especially when you look at what's needed to win leagues in the last few years, 85, 90 points. So generally, I'm not as optimistic as I should be, but we're talking Man United here. I think the gulf in quality and class over the last 3 years, there's not enough to make up for that this season for sure. Summer.
Do you agree with a lot of that, Dave?
It's possible for United to finish above Arsenal. Possible.
Do you honestly? Is there a world where it could happen? Yeah.
If they get the signings right? They've already done really well. Biggest problem was, in terms of scoring goals. I think that's been sorted. I think United will score a lot more goals. The issue comes defensively. Man United centre-back's good enough to probably be ahead of Arsenal, sorry. You've got Lenny Yoro, top player, but then you've got Heaven, that's a young player. Lisandro's injured. Maguire, De Ligt, are they really enough? Probably not. But there's a possibility because of the thing I mentioned before in terms of playing one game a week. Arsenal are going to be playing in every single competition. They're going to go far in the Champions League again. They're going to go far in the FA Cup, the League Cup. That would be the only thing if their focus goes away from
But they would also have to, on some level, capitulate in the Premier League for Man United. Yeah. Can you see a world where that happens?
The only thing, you'd have to get Saka injured again, Ødegaard injured again, probably Declan Rice would have to be injured, maybe William Saliba injured. That would be the crisis. It would have to be a crisis combined with Man United getting very, very, very lucky in the transfer market for it to happen.
Yeah, right. And look at last year. At certain times you could say crisis when you look at the injuries in certain positions for us, but our default was still second. I look at this season, and by default, I think at worst case third. And one of those clubs above us won't be United, in my opinion. Liverpool, City, we're talking about here. Yeah. So I'm not with Dave in terms of it's possible. I don't think it's possible yet. And I think the most important thing for them is will Amorim be able to knit it together? Because I think the quality is there. defensively, you're right. There's a gap for sure, but I think generally, in attack, they've got goals in abundance, and
I kind of think nothing is possible for Manchester United, like literally nothing. If you go into the season and say Andre Onana is your goalkeeper for the entire season,
that's a problem.
I literally believe nothing is possible.
That would be a serious problem.
Yeah.
I think United need to. They needed to improve in both boxes, and they've improved in one box, and they're not improved in their own box. That's a humongous concern.
A top half finish isn't possible.
No, that kind of thing. But I'm talking anything.
The variability is massive, right? Yeah. United could be relegated, but they could win the Premier League. The variability is there in that sense, right?
Anything that is sort of symbolic of who Manchester United are isn't possible if Andre Onana is the goalkeeper for 38 games, in my opinion.
If there's a world where Man United finish above Arsenal, it requires someone in the top 4 or 5 to have a capitulation. That's how bad.
It means Arteta's been sacked. That's what it means. It means it's gone wrong. It means it's gone. It's Mourinho. It's Mourinho 2010. It's Mourinho 2015.
I don't know if I truly believe what I'm about to say, but the top, all those top 4 teams, I think Arsenal are the most prone to have a bad season.
No, that's what you want to be. No, I like it, Flav, but I'd love to join you on this.
And
this is optimism.
No, I do have a reason for it, and I just think that because of this cycle where Arteta's at, the level of expectation that's now through the roof, or demand is through the roof. Yeah. They've signed their number 9. It could go tits up. So if one team in the top 4 this season does go tits up, then I think it's more prone to happen to Arsenal.
There's a lot of pressure on us for sure.
Yeah,
by your own support as well.
But rightly so.
But by you, Turkish.
Rightly so. 21 years, no title. 7 years, be excited. 6 years, trust in the process. I think the pressure is warranted. If you're a big club, every year you're under pressure to win a major trophy. That's how it should be. Yeah, I know football's very different now, but there's a lot of teams competing, a lot of teams going hard in the transfer window. But the expectation is, we must do it this season.
Totally. So cards on the table though: Manchester United or Arsenal. Who is going to have a better season, Manchester United or Arsenal? Dave.
Me first, Roy. That is harsh.
Well, I think if
I was going to say Manchester, no, it's got to be Arsenal. I can't look past it because Arsenal are a very, very good football team, and what Arteta's built is very, very good. Yeah. United are at the start of their cycle, right? With Amorim, he's been there for less than a year. So to say that right now, United are going to have a better season, I can't even believe that myself. No. It again, we've said before, it is possible, but a lot of things would have to happen for that to be possible.
Place, yeah.
In a spirit of democracy, should we go round? But I think it's going to be a clear sweep, isn't it?
You can't vote for
who's going to have a better season, Manchester United or Arsenal?
Arsenal will have. And just to pick up that Amorim comment, at the start of his cycle, he's 2 years in. He's about
2. He got the job in November.
But it's the second season.
He's not been there for a year yet.
It's the second season.
I said he's not been there for a year. It's exactly what I said.
Dave, sorry. What I meant is it's the second season. A manager what will last 24 months in a job?
18 months, I think, 18 on average. Yeah.
So you're saying sack him now?
By November, he'll be gone.
We'll see. We will see. So it's a clean sweep for Arsenal there, which now means that the next contender is Chelsea. Arsenal or Chelsea? Who's going to have a better season? There's a Rizzler paper here between us.
Yeah,
is it?
I think so. I think no. Look, whatever we conclude here, whatever you think it is, we are now. You can hear hooves. We're breathing down your neck.
It's a bad time though with the money spent. I agree with you.
No, we signed a lot of really bad players that cost a lot of money.
And we signed a couple of you over the years too.
Yeah, it also cost a lot of money. But no, I think we're gonna have a really good season. And do you know what I'm gonna trace it back to? Where do you lads sit on Chelsea winning in New York City, the Club World Cup? I honestly, you all turn your nose up.
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
I think you've got to look at that tournament as something that was quite flat, but beating the best team in the world
in that PSG manner that we did
is impressive.
I agree.
We can't look past that. They absolutely battered everyone in Europe last season. Won the Champions League easily.
Also got beaten by Botafogo in that tournament as well.
Good team, though. Very good
team. Good team, mate.
Copa Libertadores holders.
Of course.
Are you ready to have a go at winning £500,000? Then make sure to enter Final One Standing, William Hill's ultimate free-to-play eliminator game. The rules are simple. Simply pick a Premier League team to win each weekend. If they win, you're through to the next round. If they lose or draw, you're out. There is a bit of a twist though. You can't pick the same team more than once, so you've got to think strategically. So if you want a shot at winning £500,000, then make sure you enter by 12:30 this Saturday. Just download the William Hill app, scan the QR code, or hit the link in the description to play. Do you think you've got what it takes to be the final one standing? Terms and conditions do apply. You've got to be over the age of 18 to play. It's UK and Ireland only. And please remember to gamble responsibly.
But what I would say that beholden, that competition doesn't count and isn't worth even talking about. What does count, Roy? What counts is that Chelsea are a legitimate title challenger, in my opinion. I think they've gone from being a basket case club that no one respected. You know,
calm down a bit.
but do you remember when Bowley came in, Clearlake came in? It was so heavily weighted. Yeah. You had loads of forwards.
Yeah, Aubameyang and Koulibaly.
It was a mess. They've gone from that, and I've done a complete 180 on them, and thinking they're probably one of the best round football clubs in
I mean, there's also look. We've signed some very good players. There's a lot of good players that like this. Esteval Willian looks amazing. Like really, like dazzling. Like. Unpredictable talent. Love the look of him, and that's the reason ultimately that we chose to get rid of Madueke. But we have also signed, like without being too kind to our owners, we've probably signed 50 players under this ownership.
Yeah.
And 8 of them are probably anywhere near the first team. There's no, Aubameyang, Koulibaly, Axel Dizazi, Benoit Badiashile, and a ridiculous amount of goalkeepers. Like Mikhailo Mudryk. Like the list goes on and on and on.
But credit to Chelsea for that because they're making money, right? Like this summer you spent the most money in the Premier League. Oh, sorry, Liverpool, the only team that spent more, but you made the most money from player sales. Yeah. So there's that balance of some players that aren't good enough for Chelsea, like a Madueke, which I think actually fits Arsenal a lot better than Chelsea. 50 million quid.
Yeah,
it's a great deal.
Yeah, we constantly...
You think about Esteval. So if Esteval is rubbish, which he's not going to be, at 16 years old, first Brazilian season, top scorer with 13 goals, incredible talent, right? You've got Jamie Gittins, another brilliant young player. These players will have massive resale value. Yeah. So whether they make it or not, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But I still feel for this right now, Arsenal will have a better season because Chelsea's better season will come down the line with these younger players. Because you think about, Joao Pedro's been excellent since he joined Chelsea, brilliant in the Club World Cup, still quite young. Liam Delap, similar, top quality potential.
Just have a think about Chelsea. Just think about, just have a think. Think about off the back of what you saw in New York City, off the back of qualifying for the Champions League, in the end doing it in a doddle. Like the beginning of the season, this time last year, I think people would have lumped Chelsea with the likes of Newcastle, Tottenham, Man United, all teams that were dreaming of getting into the top 5 and fighting for the top 5. We're not that anymore. We've pulled far clear of the chasing pack, haven't we? We're now comparable to the top 2.
It looks like it.
I'd say you are the 4th best team.
Do you not think we've got more in common with Arsenal than we do Villa?
Yeah, but I think that City, Liverpool and Arsenal are ahead of you at the moment, is what I'd say.
Are you worried about us at all, Turkish? Like, when we talk about this, are you looking at Chelsea as a threat to you? Can you see Chelsea maybe finishing above you in the league, or are we not really on your radar?
There's a worry. It's been messy since Bowley and Clearlake come in, but this summer I think you're seeing a method to the madness. There seems to be quite balanced. I think you've made good signings. I think Delap's a top signing. Pedro on top of that. He hit the ground running, 5-5 over pre-season and the Club World Cup. So you've made good signings. Your midfield was already in a good place, in my opinion. You've got Lavia as backup. The Colwell injury is big, and Maresca's second season is big because the expectation is there now. I think he had a free run last year, and albeit there was a drop off midway through, the expectation now is a title challenge. Okay. And I just don't see you ready for that. And I haven't seen enough of Maresca to think he's capable of that.
Fair.
How does he speed it up?
I just think
that's the biggest problem, right?
We just have to do our best to win the league. Like we have to be in the conversation for the league. I think that just has to happen.
Till when? March, April.
What I think we need to do is accrue a points tally that is capable of winning the league. And if you don't hit it and Man City don't hit it and Liverpool don't hit it, if we end the season with 84 points, which is a respectable tally.
That is the barometer for any team trying to win the league, and why the pressure on Arteta, in my opinion, is unfair. Is no team has the right to win a league. So many things have to go your way to win it. Arteta has been there 3 times, less last season, but certainly the 2 teams before. All you can ask as supporters, in my opinion, and maybe that's why Spurs don't win anything, the most demand you can ask for is just to be in that conversation at that time. Okay. So if you put together 84, 85, 86 points...
and don't win it, what more can you do?
Yeah.
So, cards on the table time. Who's going to have a better season, Chelsea or Arsenal? Chelsea, right?
No. I'm going to say Chelsea.
Yeah.
2?
Yeah.
Arsenal for sure.
Arsenal. You know what it is.
I'll save it for later, but I'm worried about Chelsea. I really am.
Respect that, Flav. I do respect that. You've gone up a little bit in my I didn't expect that.
That's going to do well for my social.
But
Spurs fans are going to love that, aren't they?
But I don't agree with you. I don't think we're going to have a better season than Arsenal. I think Arsenal they're further along in their development. Everything that we've discussed, everything Dave said there about Arsenal, I just think that they are going to have a good season. They're going to finish above us but the gap is closing, is what I would say. So we're putting Arsenal through, which means that the next challenger to face Arsenal, Man City.
As expected.
I think they're going to have a bad on the scale of them. They're going to have a bad season.
I think they're going under the radar a bit, and we're talking about Pep Guardiola here. You know, the greatest manager since Sir Alex, in my opinion, top 3, worst case top 5 managers in football history. He's never gone 2 years without a league title since he's become a manager through Barca, Bayern, Man City. It's going under the radar. I think they've done good business, and as we sit here today, they're in talks of doing some more good business. So it's looking one way now. In my opinion, I think we're just stronger than them. But they've still got, rumours linking them to a Rodrigo, for example. And I think that sort of a signing's a game changer.
Yeah, that kind of signing changes things. But as things stand at the moment, what do you reckon, Dave?
Arsenal definitely over finishing above City. I think City have got a lot of promise, but Guardiola needs to figure it out, right? Like, he still looks like it's in transition, and he's never done this before. Yeah. He's never stayed at a club for this long, hence why he's never had this gap in winning league titles. He's always had the best squad in the league, and right now it's a rebuild with young players. And at the moment, it doesn't look like it's together. Losing Savinho to potentially Spurs, it's a player that played in the role last season that did well. And now he's going to be gone. So who plays on the right wing? Who plays on the left wing? Who plays inside? Phil Foden's obviously dropped off in terms of his form. Are the signings right?
I saw, when they did a line, I saw sort of a Man City fan who did his lineup. Do you know who he had at right back? Mateus Nunes.
Yeah.
I was thinking, if that's the situation going in, that's vulnerable.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
That's so vulnerable. It's not his position.
But he played there for the back end of last season, right? And he did all right, but vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
So that's the problem for City. They needed both fullbacks. They bought Aït-Nouri, who's very, very good.
Yeah.
But still, how does the midfield... If Rodri's injured for the start of the season, what happens? Does he come back in Ballon d'Or form, or does he come back in form of someone that's not played football for 12 months? Yeah. There's a lot of questions around Manchester City. And look, Ryan Cherki is probably one of the most creative players in the world of football. He's unbelievable on the ball, can spot things. Haaland will score a lot of goals, but it's the rest of the team does that function. Where does Omar Mamouche play? Yeah. It's a great example. How would you get the best out of him?
Yeah. Also, they lost. It's important to remember, off the back of last season, I know they ended up finishing in touching distance to Arsenal in the end, but they lost 9 out of 11 in one point. 9 out of 11 games. When you say, it's Guardiola, you're right, it's Guardiola. No doubt in the legacy. I completely agree with you. The best manager of the Premier League era, Sir Alex Ferguson aside. But he still presided over a 9 defeat in 11 games.
I don't think he recovered from Rodri's injury. It was just so massively, just such a massive blow. And so it should be. He's the best, categorically, and without question, the best player in Europe, if not the world. So to lose him is difficult to recover, and he in part has a responsibility for that because he ran him into the ground. Same with Saka, I think, was overplayed because of his injury.
Like that snipe to Arsenal.
It's not a snipe. No, it ain't a snipe.
It's unnecessary. Said it. Yeah, you didn't need to bring that up at all.
Power now because we're not talking about Spurs anymore.
So, can I apologise for that?
It's good. He's sitting there minding
his business. He's considering his eye now.
I'm just saying players are getting overplayed, right? And Rodri, and especially the most important players, and I just think he never recovered from that. There was a lot. He was going through a lot of stuff as well. So while we're saying he's never had he's never had to rebuild a team, never stayed at a club for as long as he has, he's also had tons of personal stuff going on. To say that Pep Guardiola isn't a complete force in world football because of last season, I think it's a little bit foolhardy.
Nobody said that.
I think
Pep Guardiola is not a force in world football. You just
but the general
the vibe is that
was a vibe.
No, the vibe.
Literally, I'm pretty sure I went best manager undoubtedly since.
Turkish, what was the vibe?
When we're talking title challenges amongst not just here but WhatsApp groups and so on, Man City are not really being mentioned, and that's where I think the disrespect to Pep comes in.
And Rodri will come back.
At some point, yeah.
At what level?
When?
Yeah, we've had 3 players have had cruciate ACLs at Spurs, and it does take them a while, much longer than the initial recovery stage. I think Rodri returning, Foden isn't a spent force. He will come back as well. So I just think there's too much talent at Man City.
Who has a better season then, Arsenal or Man City?
I think we're both a couple of players away from being confident about this, if I'm honest. They're a winger and a right back away, and we are a winger and a attacking.
Another winger?
Who else?
You've bought 20 players this summer.
Who?
Arsenal.
Name me the wingers we bought.
Madueke?
More?
Madueke.
And then we go into the quality.
But the point
of
there is you've got enough quality in the squad already. I don't think Arsenal need any players.
I don't think so, because the Madueke sign is a funny one for me. It's not really a plus. It's up in the air right now because our idea is to play him on the left. He's only played a handful of games on the left.
Is that what they're going to do?
He's looked quite good there, though.
Yeah, but I mean, in a game and a half pre-season, he's looked better than Martinelli and Trossard, but that's because it's been so dire in that position for us over a year. So I don't understand the transfer. If it works, then it's a genius move, right? Because a lot of us, even Chelsea fans, were looking at it laughing. But if it doesn't work, then I think shit hits the fan. And
I looked at it and thought that was a really good signing. That's what I thought as a Spurs fan. So
who finishes higher then?
Well, I've already said that Chelsea will finish above Arsenal, so I can't now say that Manchester City won't, because that means putting Manchester City in third. I think they're going to win the league.
So you think Man City finish above Arsenal? You think Man City can have a better season?
I think the conversation's between Liverpool and Man City.
Okay, so to answer the question,
Manchester City will finish above Arsenal.
Okay, Dave.
Arsenal.
Why do you look confused?
Because you mate, you're not making any sense.
How am I not?
Because moments ago you did this whole how it could be troublesome for Man City.
No, I didn't. I said this is the season where everything clicks into gear, and Pep Guardiola is still the man. That's what I was saying. You're the one putting doubt in.
That wasn't the vibe. That wasn't the vibe I got.
You're misreading the vibe. I don't know what to say.
Right, so Dave,
Arsenal
finish above City.
100%.
I'm going to say Arsenal, yeah.
And I say Arsenal finish above City, which means Arsenal progress, and the final challenger, the final boss from Ibiza is Liverpool. Liverpool.
They do look a bit shaky at the back.
They did look a bit shaky at the back in that moment, that's for sure.
But AC Milan
A lot
game
of us have looked
pre-season.
shaky at times in pre-season. We've lost to Tottenham, lost to Villarreal. Transition's been causing us a problem. I don't think Man City have looked great either. I think Chelsea have probably been the most consistent.
Yeah, we've looked alright. Do you know what I did think? Like, I think Liverpool are going to have a brilliant season. I really do. I think they could have a record-breaking season. But there was one thing that I saw which just shocks me a touch. I heard Arne Slot talking about Gravenberch and Endo, and almost highlighting and celebrating their properties of centre-half. And I thought, are you going to sign Gay here? Are you going to sign someone? Because, you know, when you've got a manager talking about midfielders and their ability to play at centre-half, I suddenly thought, maybe they're not going to do it. Maybe they're not going to sign someone.
Do you not think they should go wholehearted for Isak or go for the centre-back?
If they bought Isak, would you be worried about them?
I'm worried already.
Yeah.
So on top of that, Isak, 100%. I mean, I think they're favourites. I think they're the defending champs, 10 clear of us, 13 clear of City. And if on paper, and listen, transfer windows on paper, you look back in a couple of years and it's a very different picture. But on paper this summer, they've had the best window. They've attacked the window right, fullbacks.
Yeah, they're the best team in the country, and they got better than anyone else.
We're looking at it in a sense of they've replaced like players in their prime. Luis Diaz is in his prime as a footballer. Trent Alexander-Arnold in his prime as a footballer. Independent of what you think he is defensively, he's in his prime. They've bought players in that are young, that have to adapt to the Premier League. We all know the Bundesliga to the Premier League is a difficult thing, especially for attackers. Chelsea have had Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. So these two players that are from an attacking sense, Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz come in. Florian Wirtz is going to be fine because he's a top quality footballer, and don't have any doubts that since the start of last season, directly involved in more goals than any other midfielder. Hugo Ekitike is basically like Darwin Núñez, but he's more suited on a hot slot style. In a sense, he's massively misfiring in front of goal. He misses big chances in the penalty area. If Isak doesn't get signed, Arsenal win the league. Okay. It's as simple as that. I really think that, yeah.
Arsenal win the league.
If Isak's signed, it's a different story because you're buying a player in that's in his prime that's going to score goals. If not, Arsenal win the league.
As is, yeah? With no more.
Right now, if there's no move for Isak, which could happen.
Do you usually get things right?
I think when you look at the reigning prediction YouTube champions, I think I have won the league a number of times. So yes, Flav, I do get things correct.
That worries me. That's worrying me significantly. He's convinced me now that Liverpool are going to.
But that's if not. Clearly say if they don't sign Alexander Isak, because that changes everything. Because he's the best striker in the league.
But Liverpool were already the best team by 10 points.
They were, but then that was Arne Slot's first season. People start to work out what he's going to be doing. You know, you look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, that's a big one. Robertson's drop-off is big. Virgil van Dijk has got a year older. They've not got, as you said, depth at centre-half. If he's playing Endo at centre-back in the Premier League, then he's going to get opened up. The balance, how do they fit all those players into an 11 that works? Where's Dominic Szoboszlai play? Well, there's a lot of questions for Liverpool right now.
Did they? Was there really a title race last year? Like,
No.
Arsenal were going to be better.
It wasn't because of their brilliance.
Yeah,
They kept finding ways, and that's credit to.
It's fair. Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying because they're mad online. But
There wasn't a race because they were so good.
But
No,
Salah
but
was
Arsenal-
really good. Salah was really good.
Arsenal are going to go.
I think-
Arsenal will be better. So will Man City. So there will be a title challenge this
But
year.
Liverpool have got better than they were last season, haven't they? Simply by the fact that they've signed Florian Wirtz. If you don't agree with Ekitike,
they gelling
they
issue?
signed Kirkes and they signed Wirtz. If we just leave Ekitike out of this for a moment,
Do they gel? That's the big question.
That is a question, right?
I see this as completely opposite. I wouldn't be surprised to see them do something unbelievable. Centurions, I think they will dominate. I think they're going to just go for the jugular of the league and win it at a canter.
This is the most precious
really
slot's
do.
ever been under now, though, because now the expectation is there. He was a young, fresh manager last season. Spoke to Salah. I think Salah mentioned it. Release the shackles off me, and I'll deliver. That's what he did. He worked with him, which is, I think, again, credit to the manager, because when I look at Pep, Arteta, and modern day managers, they're very systemic in the way they approach games. Whereas Slot's over the whole season, he found ways to win games in different ways.
But it all came back to Mohamed Salah.
It did, yeah.
47 goal involves. This is
Crazy.
This is taken
record-breaking
a direction.
numbers, right?
This has gone
Can
in
he
a
do it
direction
again?
I didn't necessarily expect. So now I'm going to ask for your votes.
I think
Who's going to have a better season? Who's going to finish higher in the league? Is it Arsenal or is it Liverpool?
what I've realised about myself in the last 5 minutes, I'm very susceptible to suggestion.
Ignore it.
The ebb and flow of your own opinion.
I just go with whatever.
My opinion has a natural sway that I can't quite predict, depending on who I'm sitting next to.
Depends on who I'm talking to. I think like perhaps losing Premier League ready players like Trent Alexander-Arnold, as you said, might be a bigger factor than we realise.
Fine, but just answer this question. Flav, who is going to win the Premier League?
Manchester City, but Liverpool in this instance. If I have to go with one of these two, if I have to go with one of them two, it's going to be Liverpool, yeah.
Okay.
Arsenal will win the league. Bought a striker. Everyone's been talking about they need a striker. They bought literally the best one in Europe. Scored more goals since joining Sporting, with and without penalties. They bought a left winger that I think could be quite good. The quality of youth, Lewis Skelly, Wanyeri, Dauman coming through, that gives a team a boost. They've got the best defence in the league, the best goalkeeper in the league. Their central midfield combination now is fantastic. I think they have the best team in the league, the best squad in the league, and that is why Arsenal will win the league.
Whoa. Turkish.
I mean, like Flav said, he can be swayed. I mean, we got a stat man here. Big reputation. Champion
ignore
on
me,
YouTube.
ignor it.
I'm
Go with
going
what you
with
think.
it. We're going Arsenal.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so my vote here is Liverpool. Flav, your vote here in this instance is Liverpool. Obviously, it's you said Man City, but for this, it's Liverpool. So it's 2 Liverpool, 2 Arsenal. It's a draw. After all that, it's a draw. I can't believe how wrong you all are. It is Liverpool. It's in the bag. What we're going to have to do is hand this over to you. Would you do us a massive favour? Please let us know in the comments below, who do you think is going to win the league? Do you think that Statman Dave and Turkish are correct? Or do you think that I am correct on my own? Probably them, innit? Thank you so much for watching. Please do us a favour before you go. Please click subscribe and let us know, what did you think of our new show? Let us know in the comments. Remember to click the link in the description for your chance to win 500 grand in Final One Standing. Thanks again for watching WHFC. Next week, we're going to be playing Final One Standing Premier League Signings Edition. This show was brought to you by William Hill, 18+. Please gamble responsibly.